Go. All right, YouTubers, welcome back to Fast Gadgets. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my visit to Best Buy. I decided to go do a little bit of window shopping so I could get a look at some of the systems that I was talking about in my Should I Upgrade video. And I always like to get a hands-on approach to some of the systems that I'm looking at. I don't know how you feel about it, but if I just window shop, or rather if I just shop online and I don't actually get to touch the systems, I've found personally that when I order them, much of the time there will be some user experience that you're missing. Touching the system, trying the keyboard, trying the mouse pad, looking at the screen, gathering your personal opinion on how you feel about how the system works before you even order it. So, not that I'm saying we should use Best Buy as our, window shopping experience. Certainly if you can get the price somewhere else and you can get Best Buy to match it, I always recommend purchasing at Best Buy, because I'd hate to see Best Buy go away, or stores like it. We kind of need them. I mean, if you can't get in and do a hands-on, it's a very different experience. When I went in, my primary purpose was to look at computers, but I couldn't help but stopping by and checking out the phones. And I found the S7 Active very interesting. And then over here on the back table, there were some Galaxy Note 7s. And while I'm here, I'm recording this with my Galaxy Note 4, and the Galaxy Note 7 looked a little bit smaller, definitely a different feeling in the hand. I'm not a big fan of the Edge screen, so would I buy it? I'm gonna go with probably not right now, at least. I've got a big hand, and the Edge screen, I've heard a lot of people saying they accidentally start apps, which I did right there, so I probably will hold off and think about whether or not I want to buy one of those. But I always like the Notes. They really, really are something that I find has the most utility, and in a couple of videos coming up I'm going to talk about utility. I mean, that's really the number one thing as far as the user experience part of it goes. What are you going to get out of it? What's the reason for getting it? Utility is important, but we also have other issues we have to look at. Security. This one here, this was the Active. This was the one I was definitely interested in. Now, my particular phone service does not, they don't do the purchase where you can get a phone and then you pay a subsidized rate. Like this one's $149. So I'm not going to be able to get that. I'd have to pay face value. So that's a bit of an issue for me. So this first computer I looked at is one I wasn't considering in the lineup, but it's had good marks. The HP Spectre X360. Beautiful laptop, all metal construction. Just very well designed. I was really impressed with that laptop. And I already have a Yoga 2 Pro, and the hardware specs are basically the same as the one I already have, so no point in getting a Yoga. But I always like to check out what's current and just see what it's like. I kind of like the hinge on that one. And the rest of these I wasn't too interested in, because I really wasn't there to get a 2-in-1. I was more interested in something with more power. As per my previous video, I was looking at gamer systems, mainly because they had a quad-core processor. So it was something I was seriously considering. And there's a few of them that I was looking at here, so I'm going to go over each one of them that I was looking at. This was one of them. Well, actually, I was not looking at this one. I'm sorry. This was the Star Wars Special Edition. I just thought it was clever, but I'm an older guy, so I can't really see myself walking around with the Star Wars Gaming Edition laptop. Although it's really neat, it really didn't have the hardware I wanted in it anyway, so I didn't really see a point in that one. But it was cool looking. And this one here, I believe this is the Dell. Yeah, XPS touchscreen CSD. $22.99, but I'm here to say this was the best laptop in the bunch. If I had had the money, this would have been the one I would have bought. It had everything I wanted in a very small package, decent weight. It was by far the best laptop in the store for what I was looking for. So I was definitely interested in this laptop. I just couldn't justify the $2,299. I can pretty much get along with anything. I mean, I've got a MacBook Pro 2008 I still use, so it's not like I had to have that one. But if I had money sitting around burning a hole in my wallet, that would have been the one. This one was odd. It had said device specs. The resolution was 1024 by 768. Yeah, this was an MSI. It was one I hadn't considered previously, but somebody mentioned, I think it was the GE52, so I thought I would take a look at it. Not a bad system at all, and as far as the look, I actually liked it quite a lot, and I did like the hinge on it. Some of them, the hinge just didn't feel very good, like moving the hinge back and forth, that I would have to be a little bit worried about it. So this one was impressive. Definitely something I would consider. I did like that one. And the Asus G752 was another one. And this one pretty much met all my specs, so I would definitely consider that one as well. And of course, this is one of the ones that I mentioned in my previous video. Or did I? I can't remember now. GL502, Asus GL502. Pretty good looking laptop. Decent brightness on the screen. Again, something I would definitely consider. This one was on my list. As a matter of fact, they had an open box of this one, and I was pretty excited about that because it was like $150 or $200 discount on the price. I have bought lots of open box and used stuff, so I'm not a stranger to doing that. It doesn't really bother me because I've had great success with those types of things. I've bought refurbs, and pretty much everything I've bought so far has worked out really well. So I'm not intimidated at all about the open box or anything like that. I don't know how you guys feel, but so the ones that I was really interested in, I decided I would open up the browser and I would play a 4K video, even though most of these only did 1080p, but I wanted to ensure that it wasn't the video. And there's this video that I usually use, which is like a 4K of Costa Rica, so I played that video. And this particular laptop actually looked pretty good with the 4K video. The funny thing was, as I quickly discovered, my Galaxy Note 4 makes the image you see look much better as far as the contrast and the brightness than what I was really seeing. Now, this one was pretty close. This laptop looked pretty good. So this is definitely on my list of serious considerations, especially since it had an open box. So I would try to get up really close to the screen so I could see if I could see pixelation depending on the resolution of the screen. And since all these were 1080p, they really weren't too bad overall. But I guess one of the things that surprised me was, and it, it makes sense. They really were low quality screens. And considering these were gamer laptops, I would think one of the big things would be the quality of the image. So 1080p was reasonable. It wasn't because they were 1080p. They just looked like very low quality. I don't think they were IPS. They reminded me of old LCD screens of the old days. So I wasn't overly impressed. And I always tried with each of the laptops to see if I could actually open up the laptop just from lifting up the top. Now this is the HP. Definitely was interested in this one. The HP here was $949. This is the Omen 2016. It had all the hardware specs that I was looking for, but one of the biggest criticisms was a very slow screen as far as refresh rate. And the one thing that I really was concerned about was the screen brightness. So in reviews, this thing had 265 nits of screen brightness. And here, of course, I'm running the Costa Rica 4K video, and it's so funny because it looks so much better in this video than it actually looked with the human eye, because the Galaxy Note 4 was adjusting the screen. So, but I decided, from a personal standpoint, that it was suitable. It was more than good enough, because I don't really use my computers outside in broad daylight. So when I do go outside, it's usually in the evening or on cooler days. So it's not like I'm going to be outside in the sunlight with any system that I'm going to buy. But it would be nice to get something that's a little brighter. But this one still, considering the hardware quality, is still on one of the top picks on my list. And the fact that it was so light. I found the trackpad on the HP Omen 2016 to be very mushy and I won't say non-responsive, but it just you didn't get that tactile firm click and response from the system that you would expect. It just felt like you were pushing the entire mechanism inside the laptop, so that concerned me a little bit. This was the 17-inch model of the same system. It wasn't really one that I was interested in at all. I wanted to keep it to 15 inches maximum for screen size. So I had to spend a little time and check out the MacBooks. I had a little fun since you could install software on these. I took the MacBooks and installed Geekbench on it and did a Geekbench rating. So this one did reasonably well, 2280 with a dual core of 44, 47 or multi-core score. Now the one thing I didn't think about, and this is again why I like being there, the cool thing about the Macs is their engineering and design, how they feel in the hand and when typing, the screen resolution and the quality of the screen. So I seriously am going to reconsider my rules, because I might be more interested in something that is smaller and kind of meet halfway with my hardware spec requirements. One of the things I'd probably not worry about throwing out is gaming. But I forgot how much I really like, not tiny, but, slightly larger than small, so middle of the road type sized hardware, like the MacBook Pro there. Of course, this one here, I really liked. You can't go wrong with the Retina, honestly. So I felt like it was something to consider. And of course there was the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina, but even though that one had a beautiful multi-core score, I pretty much tossed it out in my mind because it was too heavy. It was 4.5 pounds. Although it would have been closer to what my original requirements were. But again, I started to realize that maybe I have to consider size as well, and weight, because I do like these slightly smaller systems. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm getting close to making a decision. I'm just not sure exactly what yet, but I think I'm going to revise my rule set and probably consider a dual core smaller system Possibly a MacBook. I'm going to look at the comments I got on my previous video. Thank you for watching.